Da-na-na, Game 5 is here. Royal never give up. Invictus Gaming. 11 weeks worth of progress, now resting on a single hour in front of us. The second most dominant team in LPL history, taking on RNG, looking better than they ever have. Don't give me that look.
I just
you
like the
gotta
banana.
feel
I just like
the
that.
hype. Can you feel it, Raz? Are you feeling me? Are you feeling me? This is it. this is it. I'm so excited. Okay, fine.
All right.
For civility's sake, let us talk about what determines how this matchup breaks down.
Okay. Effectively,
Yes.
the person who was right on this desk in the 3-2
Oh,
RNG
wait a second, he's pulled it out.
RNG are going to win this series. Now, the thing is most people would say RNG win a best of 5, game 5. That never happens. Actually, they win more game 5s domestically than they lose game 5s. There are 3 wins and 1 loss. And the only loss against Edward Gaming. Is that Edward Gaming? I don't think so. RNG are going to the finals. Then they'll lose to EDG.
All right. Just, okay, now that we're going way too far ahead. The biggest thing about this is cast your minds back. I keep doing this, don't I? Summer split last year. RNG up against WE. They did go to best of 5, and it was the Xiao Hu carry on the Corki. So it is possible. And it comes down to the other members, because Uzi's playing his part the entire series. He's been doing phenomenally this one. So I want to be able to see if it's going to be Let Me that steps up, if it's going to be Xiao Hu that steps up. That being said, they've been on the back foot the entire series because they've been playing these scaling compositions. Invictus Gaming, the only thing they have to do is play cleaner, and it feels so easy for the coach to be able to say that. So I want to see what they can output in this game.
I think it's about changing up the responsibility. They've been giving backline access that last game that they lost. The responsibility was on Let Me. He had the Camille pick. He has the dive. If they give it to Xiao Hu, if they continue to give him champions like the Vladimir, I think that's where things start to tip, because Xiao Hu has been the make or break difference in these team fights alongside Uzi.
Well, now it's time to get us into pick and ban for Game 5. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so excited. Casters, let's get us in there.
The analyst has promised us silver scrapes. Dom delivering. We're getting to game number 5. Invictus Gaming and RNG are going the distance. The winner of this match, this very last match, will be heading into the grand finals. Face off against either EDG or Rogue Warriors. The bans have already come through for the first stage. Rakan, Olaf, as well as Slia being taken away by RNG. RNG ban out Kai'Sa. They ban out Karma as well as Swain. RNG will lock in Varus as their first pick.
I'm so happy RNG finally pulls it out of their hat. They don't do this in draft enough. A lot of times when they're taking blue side, they always go for the flex picks. But you cannot flex an AD carry, so they lose out on priority choices for that bottom lane marksman. And this is the first time that I've actually seen them go for Avar's first pick.
Locked in for Uzi as his AD carry of choice. Taking away from Jackulov, he defaulted back to Kog'Maw, so did Uzi. The games that haven't got their AD carry of choice. This time round, he's gone for Xayah. No Rakan can be picked up for Balon as his supportive choice. It's just picking up the AD carry and only the AD carry. We also get Trundle most likely being played by Ning, taken away from MLXG, who jumps back onto a tank as Sejuani gets locked in.
It's a very strong pick in the Trundle, but we also have to remember this is still a potential flex pick. Duke was very much a Trundle player when it came down to 2016. He could pull it out again. And RNG really don't have the information on that. They're going to go with another flex themselves in the Sion.
And it's Ty that's come back in here, Clement. So it's not going to be Let Me in the top
for
lane.
Laney.
Game 5. RNG played 3 games with Let Me, 2, 3, and 4. And Game 5, they bring back to Ty to try and send RNG to finals, to try and take down his former team of Invictus Gaming.
I actually like this adjustment just because Lemmy is actually someone that does get a bit frustrated when games don't go his way. So they're trying to reset mentality here in RNG, getting Zatai, someone who's seen all of the big plays, who's been so experienced, back into the lineup.
And he could be picking up Sion to the top lane, but we'll have to see if that's going to be a flex being thrown out by RNG. Xiao Hu was the first person to bring out Sion in the mid lane in the LPL. IG will lock in Alistar.
I think IG should ban out the Vladimir, because what they're doing is they're dissuading the Azir, and even if the Azir is picked last, they could try to flip back into the Vladimir towards the top lane. However, they don't actually decide to do that, and they go for the Tahm Kench instead.
which is interesting because Sion was used by Xiaohu to stop Azir. That was one of the first counters we saw in the mid lane. Since then, there's a couple of keystones that you can, a couple of runes you can change to make your life a little bit easier in that mid lane. We'll have to see if it does get picked up by Rookie. Again, IG going to play every single game on the red side. Blue side going to be picked up for every single game by RNG. They ban out Na away from Duke. They take away Orianna from Rookie, as IG decide to ban supports. Morgana as well as Taumkench taken away. They lock in Ornn as their top lane of choice for Duke. And now RNG, they have to show their hand. They have to show what is their top laner going to be, or their mid lane if they decide to flex the Sion.
Oh, and they instantly lock in the Singe. Now, this is a prepared pick from Zatai. We've only seen this once from Impact, and it has a great laning phase against the Ornn. The Ornn is never going to be able to catch up. This is RNG saying that we're going to go for a 1-3-1 composition all the way. Big trouble is that this actually lacks a lot of teamfight power. They don't have a lot of damage in terms of the team fights.
They saved it for game number 5, Clement. They do put Sion into mid lane and give no opportunity of Rookie to get an easy matchup with the Azir. Instead, he goes back to Cassiopeia, a champion that MLXG had to pick apart in team fights to protect his team. Now Rookie, he has to try and step up to the plate here and send Invictus Gaming to the grand finals.
You could not find two more contrasting styles on the team fight. RNG, this team can basically not team fight. It can't team fight, basically. Singe is a horrible champion when it comes to the team fight scenario, and then Sion has no damage late game. For IG, they have no way to match split pushes. Ornn is not going to do well on the side lane. Cassiopeia, not enough mobility. And also Xayah, even with that R, she can't go into a side lane either. This game can only go one way, and it can go one way very swiftly.
It certainly can. We'll have to see if RNG are going to be able to put that split pushing duty onto Tyre's shoulders. As you said, he played game 1. It was 100 CS behind Duke in the top lane when he got his Gnar pick. Pulling him back for game number 5. Bringing out Singe as the final pick in their draft phase. This is something they've planned for a game 5 situation, and now IG, they have to react to this play that's come out from RNG.
Oh, Zatai is so ready. You could see him chewing his gum, ready to go. He's come to chew gum and also kick Duke.
Well, let's see if we can kick Duke in the top lane, Clement. We're about to get onto the roof for game number 5. Again, Invictus Gaming, they were the heavy favorites coming into the series. Frostgrant said it'd be RNG 3-2. Raz thought this was going to be one side to IG. A lot of analysts think that after IG's dominant series, even without the Shine to top lane, that this should be their game to take.
Yeah, RNG have had a lot of shaky games coming down the road. 6 games they won in the previous 2 sets. 3 of them had massive deficits, and you can see that trend continuing today. They need the cleanest game possible.
Well, let's see if they can get that clean game heading into game number 5. We're going on to Summoner's Rift, the final match. Winner heads to the finals. Still see all the fans are still there at the Hangzhou Arena, where LGD's arena is, playing the semi-finals for the LPL Spring Split. Both sides cheering loudly for RNG as well as Invictus Gaming, because this could be their final game to play in playoffs. Loser of this series heads into the 3rd and 4th place match. Winner heads into the grand finals, where they'll wait for EDG or Rogue Warriors, which will be decided in tomorrow's semi-final match. And the winner of that finals heads to MSI.
We're going to do-or-die match for both of them. IG with such a great split, they want a good finish.
They certainly do. With RNG, they've got a couple of tricks up their sleeve. An elephant in the room here, Clement, is going to be Singed in the top lane being picked up by Tatai. We'll touch on that lane matchup later on when we can. But for now, we take a look at the rest of the map. Lethal Temple being picked up by MLXG, got a leash on his red buff. Whereas for Trundle, he went towards top side of the map, started on his red buff. Jackie Love and Balan got lane access and are able to push in quite easily and early against Uzi.
This basically means that MLXG is going to look for vision to set up on that top side and allow Zatai to run wild there. Proxy 2 waves, doesn't matter, go behind double turrets. This is the Singe that we all know but not really love. It's basically very annoying, it's hard to dislodge, but the way you play against it professionally is you just kind of ignore him. You go all into the bot side, you let him do whatever he wants. Come team fight, Ornn is still a much stronger champion.
Ignore Singe, don't chase him. Apparently the 2 rules of success against him. You know, he's moved out of his lane once already, put a ward down at red buff, spotted out that Ning has already taken his red buff. That gives information towards the bottom side of the map. You see the keystone runes that he's been, the runes that he is picking up in the top lane here. Minion Dematerializer, as well as the extra potion charges coming out for him. Just looking to try and split push throughout this entire match. Want to see how much of a bad time he gives Duke in the top lane, because Duke has had a phenomenal series for Invictus Gaming, coming as the substitute for the Shy.
Yep, we definitely had a lot of questions about his form, but he proved all of us wrong. He's not only playing tanks, he can go for the Gnar and to go for the carry 4-1 split push as well. However, this time around, things have shifted. IG is going to go for this strong team fight. RNG need to start split pushing sometime.
Well, moving down towards the bottom side of the map, JackeyLove and Baolan have a decent series so far. JackeyLove has been caught out of position a couple of times, but hero has always been Baolan here. He's played Braum in the series. He's played Tahm Kench as well and Alistar, 3 of his most played champions in the LPL. And he's been a highlight reel of protecting his carries of Rookie as well as JackeyLove, making sure they stay safe and making sure he's a facilitator for them to make the big plays.
Baolan mechanically has been so sound this split. They're able to outplay a lot of 3v2 ganks, and this is what has kept IG's bottom lane aggressive but alive at the same time. That's a very difficult thing to manage. Their bot lane gets ganked the most out of any single lane in the LPL, but they're still able to come out with a CS advantage, with a gold advantage, and a lot of it has to do with Baolan protecting JackeyLove.
This time he's done a playmaking support of Alistar. Won't have as much protection quality that we see from his Braum or his Tahm Kench. We'll have to see how he initiates and how he starts or creates skirmishes and team fights for Invictus Gaming later on. We're checking with the mid lane here. Xiaohu is trying to push a wave back against Rookie. Rookie picking up the Cassiopeia has been able to keep Xiaohu underneath his own turret. We haven't seen the dominance that Sion can bring against other that we do see in other matchups.
Now the top lane is where I really start to worry, because that's a very bad start early on. To go down 16 CS against an Ornn, it's not uncommon for the Sion to start, for the Singe to start slow, but that's an epically bad start.
Tai's already been back to base. He didn't use his teleport, just walked back towards top side of the map, picked up a control ward, as well as a dark seal for himself. But you're right, Duke has been sitting in that top side of the map, has been building items for himself, and has been perfectly fine going toe-to-toe against Tai. We haven't seen too much of that top lane matchup. It's just 2 tanks farming for now. We have to keep track of Tai's Singe and see if anything changes from his playstyle. Unlike the other 4 games in this series, we haven't seen too much action coming out from either Ning or MLXG. Both junglers have been stuck on their own side of the map, and they've just been farming their camps. No real big invades coming out, no ganks coming out early either.
And honestly, this does favor Sejuani. She has the playmaking potential at level 6, and she only wants to scale until that point. If Ning's not going to use his early trundle advantage, I'm pretty sure MLXG is fine with that.
But finally, both junglers will meet in that mid lane.
Oh, gets to level 6.
Xiaohu is level 6. Rookie's forced to flash away. Xiaohu can just start chasing him down. Already used that ultimate, but Rookie's trying to get the phase rush. Slowed down. MLXG jumps in, doesn't get the flash, but it doesn't matter. First blood picked up by the little tiger.
Great gank there, using the level 6 advantage so well. Instantly lands the knock-up with his ultimate and pins Rookie to the ground right there. That was just careful mechanical play, and it also draws away the jungle from the top side. Tai is coming back in terms of CS.
It's Tai farming in between top lane, inner, and outer turret.
He's just a giant bee? Oh, I didn't know that.
He is Beekeeper Singe.
Yeah, but he's actually a bee himself.
Yeah,
Did you see that?
Bee. Everyone's a bee when you're a bee, Clement. That's how it works.
That doesn't make sense.
Yes, it makes sense. But in the bottom lane, JackeyLove has been pushed in by Uzi. Uzi and Ming have been fairly quiet in this bottom lane matchup so far. They get the first recall, pick up a pickaxe and a couple of daggers for himself. Whereas JackeyLove is still pushing out their wave. We'd expect them to recall shortly. Triple Dark Seal being picked up by Tai. He's going to be able to continue pushing. Has the extra duration of potions and extra movement speed when he's chugging a potion as well from his runes.
Yep, those 25% do stack on top of each other. So he's going to get a lot of duration on those flasks. It's going to be very hard to chase him down because he has Time Warp Tonic, which speeds him by 5%.
This is where he gets annoying to deal with. Yeah. Yes, Duke's got to go back to base. He's going to be able to heal up for himself, but he's just not going to take enough damage. He's going to be able to take down, but they go towards Rookie in the mid lane. Does have Cleanse, locks down Xiaohu reactively, but he's very low. Flash forward from Ming, gets the stun. Did have the damage. Flash forward coming out from Xiaohu. Gets the second kill for himself. Tanking up the turret. Ning taking some damage, but RNG focusing the mid lane against IG.
Yeah, and that was a preemptive roam from Ming right there. Able to get to the punch faster than the enemy support. Baolan is the person we usually know as the roamer. Ning still burning there, but able to walk away with his life.
Taking so much damage. Xiaohu charging down the mid lane, trying to see if he can spot out the jungler from Invictus Gaming. Doesn't do so. Still, RNG decide that their goal and their plan of attack in this match is to attack the MVP for Spring Split. Rookie has been taken down twice. Xiaohu has 2 kills picked up for himself.
Cassiopeia typically doesn't have a very good matchup into the Scion. The Scion is unstoppable when he goes into his charge. So a lot of times when Cassio is trying to play zoning duty, you run straight into a truck. And that's what RNG is really trying to exploit right here. They're also going for the first banner of command. This is pseudo split push coming out before 10 minutes.
Zatai's been proxy farming since he picked up his Dark Seals. Swifty Boots picked up as well. He's going to be running incredibly fast. We'll have to see what type of impact that has on the top side of the map. Duke is farming fine on his own, but difficult for him to collapse without using his teleport when he's constantly pushed underneath his own turret. Banner of Command, first item being picked up by Xiaohu in the mid lane. That's going to be difficult for Rookie to deal with.
And the question now is, where is Scion going to go after he has this wave completely pushed out? He's going to draw Ning towards the mid lane, showing the jungler from IG. That's actually a massive loss for Ning.
Forces Ning to jump in towards the mid lane. He's behind a level against MLXG. We didn't see Casa play at all in this series for RNG. It's just been MLXG game after game. And he's been performing well. Finally getting a look at the top side of the map. 2 tanks just going to be battling against one another, but Zatai just doesn't care. He's going to be flipping Duke backwards, farming this minion wave and chugging potions.
He's level 6 now. He can get away from anything. And this was such a good read from RNG from a drafting perspective. Cassiopeia cannot go for the minion dematerializer. She needs that precision tree for the presence of mind. And they're abusing that fact to the maximum.
Certainly are. Xiaohu's been able to push in Cassiopeia time and time again. As we mentioned, Banner Command was picked up. We haven't seen Xiaohu rotate out of the mid lane yet, but we'll have to see what he does, because top lane's pushed in. Mid lane's pushed in. It's only bottom lane that's even. And once they can start getting that push in, it could be a disaster for IG. They catch out Ning. They spot him on a ward, picking up another kill. The 3rd for Xiaohu. And already not looking like a good start for Invictus Gaming.
Ning thought he had the drop on the situation, but RNG also had eyes on him. We didn't pan forward enough to see those wards in that position, but it was definitely there. It was definitely coming.
And to start match 5, the mid laner from RNG has 3 kills picked up. A 2,000 gold lead for RNG as well. And this is a very similar situation. Top lane's pushed in, mid lane's pushed in, bottom lane's fairly even, but pushing in favor of RNG. Very similar to what we saw in the decisive one-sided affair of game number 2.
Definitely, that's true, and this is how RNG beat IG at the start of the split. They showed the stronger 2v2 in the mid and jungle, and they took Rookie and Ning down. That has always been my biggest gripe with Rookie and Ning. They really are not a duo in the sense of mechanics. They're not very well synced together on that front. Usually it's just to help Rookie leave the lane and roam.
And slowly the item power spikes are going to starting to favor RNG as well. Banner of Command already picked up mid lane. Boots 2 picked up for everyone on the top side of the map. Cinderhulk already done for MXG. We don't talk about Zatai. It's going to be a nuisance. He's going to keep split pushing. But a big item spike for Uzi. Rageblade already complete. Facing off against the components for an Essence Reaper picked up by Jackulov.
This is why you run MLXG over Karsa. He's going to provide you with that better 2v2 in the mid and jungle. And Xiaohu and MLXG, they're pretty much free to roam whichever way. They can go towards the bot lane and try to use that Rageblade combo, or they can try to go to top lane and try to crack open Duke.
RNG been having so much trouble with the Scion in the mid lane. Rookie's trying to go toe-to-toe against him, but time and time again, multiple members from Invictus Gaming have been drawn into this mid lane. Duke can't help. He's stuck. He's against a Singe. Ning can't make his way towards the top side of the map and swing that in Duke's favor by any means.
Look how devious both teams were. That was 3 lines of defenses from both of them. The Trundle was waiting, the Alistar was waiting, and we had the Braum Sejuani on the other side. Everyone knows where the next big fight is going to be.
They try to move towards bottom lane, but sidestep from JackeyLove gets him away from not only Winter's Bite, but also the corrupting chains that came out from Varus there. Ultimate was still on cooldown for JackeyLove, so could not rely on that to get away from it, but escapes the collapse that came out from RNG. LNG now has his eyes set on Mountain Dragon.
He does need his bot lane over to help on a one-on-one scenario. He's not going to win against the Trundle. But Uzi and Ming are willing to provide a helping hand.
So now I'm curious to see where RNG go next, because yes, they'll pick up this Mountain Dragon, and they've been pushing it in top lane. They've pushed it in mid lane as well. Bottom lane seems to be going in their favor. How do they keep this up and continue attacking Invictus Game?
I'm expecting Sion to actually just try to kill one of the lanes. I would expect bot lane, what they want to do is push in mid, go bottom, and just ram the truck down bottom. It's really hard for JackeyLove and Ballland to both survive that kind of attack, and there's no way that Cassiopeia is going to come and assist. She has to be mid lane.
Well, maybe RNG just break mid lane out of.
Okay.
Cassiopeia was sent back to base. Banner of Command was picked up by Xiaohu nice and early. 3 kills for the little Tiger, and he's got first turret gold as well.
And that just saves them a step. That just makes their next step so much stronger. They can now go into the bot lane with no worries. Cassiopeia is never going to be able to rotate.
They're slowly clearing out the vision as well. Trundle's on the bottom side of the map. But again, top side of the map is under control by Tatai. He's keeping Duke locked in underneath his turret. No Banner of Command being picked up by Ornn just yet. That will start to slow down Tatai. But right now he only has the Abyssal Mask complete. RNG take control of the blue buff side of the map, denied that away from Ning as well as Rookie. Uzi picks it up for himself, and he's going to continue pushing in that bottom lane.
You can see Duke really running out of mana to keep this up. At some point, Zatai is going to start chipping down on that top lane tower. And with that, he's going to be able to roam down towards the mid lane as well.
Oh, good poke coming out from Uzi. JackeyLove knocked down below 200 hit points before the fight even starts.
And here's the Sion roam. They're instantly going to cash in on
feel
that
like
damage.
RNG are going to start flaming Uzi now because he chipped away JackeyLove, made him scared, and now there's no 2 kills to be taken underneath this turret, but they got what they came for, which is their push. They're looking to try and take down another outer turret for themselves. Pings going on towards Rift Herald as well. RNG want to secure every single objective.
I don't think you understand how RNG works. I don't think anybody blames Uzi on that team. It's usually the other way around.
Well, there's not too much he can complain about in this match. A 3-0 mid laner, 3 tanks to get through, 4 tanks if you include Braum, to get through before they can get to Uzi. It does feel like RNG lacks a little bit of damage in the late game. But specifically, lacks physical damage. Unless Uzi goes towards a crit build, which he's not. Witsend's going to be picked up next. There's not much physical damage to come out from an RNG squad.
And everything about this game really started with those ganks into the mid lane. Xiaohu was able to use a 1 minion advantage, hit level 6, kill Rookie, and repeat that process twice to get such a massive lead. It just shows you how many avenues that RNG can attack you from. They do have this all-star roster. All 3 lanes can play those carry type of picks. All 3 lanes can make a massive difference.
Even showing that they can set up strategies. Flexing in both Let Me as well as Tatai. Tatai playing game 1. Was the facilitator on Ornn. Started those crucial team fights and almost picked up the game 1 victory for RNG. They won that. This would have been a 3-0. It would have been a 3-0 that went to RNG if they picked up the game 1 victory. They did not. It was a hard fought match. IG got the win. Now they sent us to game 5. Bringing back Tatai. Picks up Singe in the final rotation. Shows it as a clear strategy. We haven't seen too much for it besides just pushing Ornn in. But this has really unlocked the rest of the map because Ornn can't do anything, and now Ning can't focus the top side of the map as well.
Duke is a facilitator. His main job is to get to fights before the other top laner. And if you're a Singe, you take yourself out of the equation, but you also take him out of the equation. It's actually an incredibly genius plan, the way they're using this. And they're also giving him that long lane to operate. That's a 4v3 in the top lane.
Ornn is starting to clap back though. Almost picked up his own Banner of Command, and now finally has it. So this will actually stop Singe from pushing in as aggressively. However, the question is, has the damage been done? It's a 4,500 gold lead for RNG. Top lane out of turret is incredibly low as well. Uzi even maxing his Q in this matchup, going for W second, not trying to optimize his E.
He's trying to use the poke and get a shorter cooldown just to proc his blight stacks. That's actually on hit Varus's main source of damage these days.
You can see he has the goalie here. 1,000 gold over Jaculov. That's going to get much larger now that Turret is taken down top side of the map. All 3 outer turrets gone. They want to try and control that red buff, but it is taken away by Ning before they can collapse. And actually goes for the fight though. Locking down Balam, uses his own ultimate to try and disengage as the choo-choo train comes in, as well as Uzi's ultimate. Chains of corruptions were spreading, but they only lock down Balam again. Jaculov into the fight. Both top laners are teleporting in. Duke throws out the ultimate, doesn't get the second charge backwards. Flung back by Tatai. Both teams looking to just try and disengage. Despite RNG's advantage, they can't get a pick onto IG.
That was a great disengage from IG right there. Balan took the brunt of the damage, and Ning was able to survive with his subjugation. And that could have gone really, really wrong for IG. I'm actually very surprised that they're able to take that situation and still come out alive with that.
But RNG are going to reset the map to go back to base, spend the gold that they have acquired from their split pushing duties against the turrets they've taken down. With Send already complete for Uzi in the bottom lane. We already mentioned the Ryla's Crystal Scepter first time picked up by Tatai, going towards one of the locket items next. Aegis being picked up. Have to see if that's a banner command or whatever the heck he decides to build at this point.
Yeah, he's probably going to go for... we've seen a lot of Zerat portals as well. You know, just getting the Raptor Cloak is really beneficial to Singe, just because you're going to be staying in those side lanes most of the time. But the map is pretty much completely open for RNG for the taking. IG are now the biggest Cloud Drake fans in the world. They're like, yeah, Cloud Drake.
Well, RNG is going to look towards that Cloud Dragon, which is up and available. 19 minutes into the match means Baron's coming up shortly too. Since they are controlling the map, they can start moving towards that objective as well. Actually picking towards the bottom side of the map. Duke looking to be locked down by MLXG, doesn't have ultimate available. So chases MLXG away.
In the meantime, Sion is having a dandy time in the top lane. Nobody's really here for him.
And his teleport's coming back up shortly as well. So Xiaohu will be able to rejoin these fights once that is available. Banner of Command still split pushing for the team. Xayah and Alistar show themselves top side of the map. That will deal with this wave effectively, but means it's going to be a free Elemental Dragon going in favor of RNG.
Ooh, it's getting very bleak for IG. We really need to think about how IG can claw themselves back into the game. Because right now it looks like they're going to have to surprise RNG in like a Baron fight. They have to come in when they're doing the Baron and try to kill them.
But they collapse onto the bottom lane. Duke's getting locked down to Tyres, being a nuisance and chasing him. The fling's not going to be enough. And Duke does get away, but Rift Herald was used in the bottom lane. Ning throws out the pillar, trying to slow it down, delay it for a little bit of time so they can chip away at the damage and make sure it doesn't get a full charge off. They successfully do so as well. So Rift Herald play fizzles out for RNG. The only thing that they get is Duke's Flash.
Double pillar play coming out from IG, putting on the staunchest defense possible. You could see Herald was a bit confused there. He actually stopped going for the tower midway. He was like, I'm never getting there. I'm just going to hit this guy instead.
It was good news for IG. They survive a little bit longer. Now they have to do what RNG's been able to do in this series. Fight back against a goal deficit.
Yep. There is a possibility for that. If you look at the keystones, Zatai is taking Aftershock. And what that means is that if you can subjugate him when he has his Aftershock extra armor and resistances, when Aftershock wears off, he's going to be incredibly fragile. So you could use that to try and pick one member off fairly quickly, but the rest of the team is still very tough.
They've also got the chance to use it right off the bat against MLXG with his passive.
Yeah, that's also true as well.
Sejuani's passive gives her an increased amount of armor and magic resistance until he takes the first tick of damage, and then it wears off quite quickly. Immediately using the subjugate could take all those resistances away from the RNG front line. Again, RNG have 4 beefy tanks, and only really Uzi to rely on for damage. Ty will be packing a slight punch, and so will MLXG.
They see him.
Baolan's going to be the target of choice. Lock him down. Brom's passive is ticking. Doesn't work. We're seeing the Sejuani-Brom combo coming into effect here for RNG. Prioritizing these 2 picks very early into the draft phase. Hasn't allowed them to get the picks they really want, but they're setting up around Baron now. IG are being very cautious in how they play around the objective.
I think IG knows the game plan pretty well. As long as they don't lose their second ring of towers, they should be able to hold on to Baron. And that's going to be their game plan for the next coming minutes. Just sit behind tower when you have to, but move into the red side jungle as much as possible when the minion waves aren't an immediate issue.
Well, both split pushes for RNG are now on the bottom side of the map. Banner of Command is available for both Tatai as well as Xiaohu. Xiaohu using his own on a caster minion to get some extra damage on these turrets. And this turret should actually fall. Duke is making his way down, and IG can't make a cross-map play at the moment.
It's such a great cheeky play there. This is actually pretty huge because it's going to delay Duke.
He flings back Duke as well, gets knocked up by Xiaohu, taking a bit of damage. Balan's forced to rejoin the fight at the bottom lane. But they send their split pushes into a side lane. They take down another turret, 4 turrets to none. 39,800 gold to 33,800 gold. A 6,000 gold lead for RNG. Very dominant in the early stages of this match.
And we have never seen them actually play a game out cleanly. I've said this time and time again, but we haven't had... Pretty much game 2 was the only game we've seen this split where RNG did not mess something up. And we see it in their gold graph. 25 to 30 minutes, they only go up by 200 gold. Compare that to IG, that's 2,000.
Stepping up, though, for RNG, moving in towards playoffs. Wow, bottom lane inhibitor already quite low. Banner of Command has to be used by Duke. But yeah, stepping up, especially Xiaohu's 3-0 in this match. Picks up the tank, goes into Rookie's Cassiopeia. They shut down Rookie's Cassiopeia. Even bringing back MLXG. Carson MLXG was subbing back and forth throughout the season. It seems like he's the person they're going to be using for playoffs. He said it himself before the day opened. That, you know what, people think that Clear Love's back and it's his time to reign the jungle. No. MLXG's here, who's really in control of the jungle at the moment. He's been shutting down Ning. Ning's had a shaky performance his entire best of 5 series. And IG, they have to be scared. Even a win here against RNG, you have to look back at this performance and ask what went wrong. Because this is a team that was incredibly dominant during Spring Split. They looked nothing like it in this playoff match.
We do have to say a lot of it comes down to the way the Shy is missing and how their draft has changed. Their last pick is no longer for the top lane. They don't have double counters anymore. They're only running a soul counter for Rookie. And sometimes those champions can be very immobile. They can have bad early games. Furthermore, I just feel like IG as a duo in terms of the mid jungle has not really lived up to the hype for me. They're a team of all-star players, but those two together, they've not really been top 3 in the LPL.
Look at the mechanics, the sick mechanics out of Tatai and Xiaohu as they kite back and forth, destroying a Banner of Command minion. Every top lane or AP carry's worst nightmare. Again, very unique strategy. This is not a 1-4 or 1-3-1. They're sending both split pushes into the same lane. Pushing against Duke, throwing down their Banner of Commands and chipping away at turrets. It's working slowly, but IG can take back control towards the red side of the map. Uzi might be caught out. The Chains of Crush is going to keep him safe. Rookie immediately uses the cleanse to get away. Balan decides he just wants to tank it for himself as well, so just sticks around a little bit longer. Again, Xiaohu and Tatai, they're still split pushing in the bottom lane.
Yeah, I don't think you guys are really going to kill Duke. I don't think that's a good idea overall because he can't stop you with the
fight
pillar.
In the bottom lane though. They're going for that fight. Rookie's rotated down. Tatai already at half health, low on mana. Xiaohu very tanky, wants to try and charge away. Jackie and Balan looking to rotate themselves. Tatai jumps back in, flings Rookie away. You can't really chase Singe. So they collapse into the bottom lane, but they don't get anything for it.
That's such a smart build coming out from Singe. Going for the second item, Royalize, as fast as possible. Looking for potential picks in the mid lane
here. They step up. They actually lock down Jackulov. Takes the Sejuani ultimate. Still has his own ultimate available. Instead collapsing with the Balan. They collapse onto him. His ultimate is wearing off slowly. Miasma on top of the teleport that comes up to Tatai. But he knocks back on. Ornn's in trouble. Might be a tank, but he's taking so much damage. Forced to flash away. The poison is ticking. It doesn't matter because Xiaohu chucks a minion at him. Hits him for 3. Xiaohu's now going to try and retreat as RNG wants to try and get away from IG. You still want to reinitiate this one. Ning now taking damage. He's forced to flash away. They decided to go for a prolonged team fight. Doesn't work out well for IG.
Yeah, Ning was pretty much doing that for Temple, but I'm not sure what Jackie Love is doing here.
What the heck, Uzi?
What?
Steps up, step aside, Dr. Disrespect, because Uzi, he does not lose sniper fights. Takes down Jackie Love. Ning's now in trouble as well. RNG, pedal to the floor, going straight forward, taking down IG.
And that's 3 members down for IG. This is going to open up the Baron for RNG. They are looking at the end right here. Look at Uzi. That's a face of determination. He is going to choke the life out of Jackie Love.
Baron is the next target. 8,000 gold lead for RNG. And what is looking to be a perfect game for Game 5. RNG are looking dominant once again.
And this is a strategical win. They had this plan in mind. They baited Invictus Gaming into this draft phase. They had Singe ready. This is something that we've never seen from RNG. They're usually very reactive. They're usually a bit of meandering in the early to mid games, but it's been all business so far.
Their draft phase was working out well as well. The Kaiser in the first 3 matches, forcing IG to ban that out. Trundle as well was another priority pick that IG had to take away. Something that LSG used quite well. And even when the Kaiser's taken away with the ban, Ning picks up Trundle in the jungle. LG pulls out the Sejuani. They're looking strong once again. Uzi can taste it. He can taste it. He's heading into finals. He was that last team fight.
I have to question, what was JackeyLove trying to do there? He steps up to put more damage onto Xiaohu. He actually steps forward, but Uzi just gets the blight stacks on him and instantly implodes.
Frusco instead on the desk, Clement. What is JackeyLove doing with his positioning? He was caught out by a Sejuani ultimate earlier. It didn't cost him his life. But right there, trying to fight Uzi with a tank standing next to him. That is questionable decision-making coming out from Invictus Gaming's AD carry. And now RNG, they're pushing towards the base. They've got the Banner of Command minion lined up, slowly chipping away at this inhibitor. Again, with Tatai and Xiaohu split pushing the bottom side of the map. Doesn't matter. Ultimate gets thrown out by LMLXG. Rookie's forced to flash away. RNG have broken the base here, Clement. They've caught out Balan as well. JackeyLove's trying to go for that final team fight, but their support is dead. Orn's going to try and recharge the ultimate, but Tatai's going fairly low. They get a return kill, turn it into a 4-on-4, but their base is being broken by RNG.
They still have enough gas to take down another inhibitor, but they should probably be backing off right now. It's still a 4v4 with no Zatai.
Rookie taking a lot of damage as well. Uzi poking with his Q. Something that you don't usually see from the on-hit Varus's. Surprising JackeyLove with the damage. IG get a kill back for themselves, but they're 12,000 gold behind. And Uzi can taste. He can taste another appearance at the Grand Finals. They just have to put the final nails in the coffin.
IG needs to wake up. It's now or never for them. They've had such a great split. I would hate to see it finish this way. Their members in Game 5, I feel like JackeyLove is going through the growing pains that Uzi himself faced. Being stuck in a Game 5 position where he has to hard carry. This is his life now.
The second most dominant team during a regular season the LPL has ever seen. Beating EDG's undefeated run. Narrowly by 1 game, losing out to the all-time dominant OMG a few years back. And now they're met with contests against RNG. Game 1 was a struggle at best for IG. Game 2 was the most one-sided affair we've seen in a long time, and it was against IG. And now Game 5 is looking to be a repeat. They dug deep in Game 4. They pulled it back to Game 5, went the distance, and they tried to bring it home. And now Rookie, the MVP for Spring Split, is looking at possibly not moving into the finals and instead going to 3rd and 4th place. Uzi wants that crown. He can taste it. And RNG, they're 1 inhibitor turret away from marching towards the Nexus.
This could very well be the final push here. Remember, IG still does have a very strong team fighting team composition. If they can move through the front line with Subjugate, then they could potentially still swing the fight. It's going to be very difficult for sure, but there is a possibility.
Slowly chipping away at this turret. The final one will fall. Last attack from that cannon minion will take it down. Nexus turret's already being attacked here by RNG's minions as well. Final turret's going to fall. IG go for the Hail Mary play. Rookie gets locked down, instantly cleanses out of the fight. JackeyLove going to get crowd controlled by Xiaohu. Final inhibitor is going to fall. Uzi looking for the fight. Chaser Crutcher is spreading. They got it in the backline. JackeyLove knocked out. There's bees, Clement. Bees everywhere. Zatai runs laps around the Nexus. But it doesn't matter because 1 by 1, Invictus Gaming members will fall. They're 1 step closer. And when the Nexus is fighting, JackeyLove was not able to be the hero of this league. He could not stand up to Uzi. RNG head to the Grand Finals.
And RNG, with their most dominant game of the split, finally secured that Game 5 win to put themselves in front of whoever comes out of EDG versus Rogue Warriors. We were doubtful that Uzi's mentality would be able to survive the blows of a grueling BO5, but he proved it. He did it today. He was the leader. He kept his cool. He wasn't playing in a haze. He was in control the entire way through.
The team that everyone was afraid of to meet at MSI, IG, dominant Spring Split, looked good in a couple of games, pulled back Game 1 of this series, could not close it out, and it's RNG who are going to get a spot at the Grand Finals of Spring Split 2018. And Uzi is looking for that final best of 5 to finally pick up a domestic title.
They don't know who should be up here. Should it be Zatai or Let Me? All right, but they are going to bow down with the roster that finished and clenched them a road towards the finals right there. For me, I think Xiaohu played out of his mind this series. Playoff Xiaohu and regular split Xiaohu are such different people, carrying the majority of his damage for his team and also that early game engine.
And MLXD was nowhere to be seen, Clement. MLXD looked great this entire series. From the planned plays at level 1 from games 1 and 2, all the way to showing that he can diversify his champion pool, switch up the way he plays, and attack different parts of the map. Looks really good for RNG. But you always have to look towards the hyper carry in the bottom lane. Uzi played out of his mind, single-handedly winning a lot of those matches, especially with his Kai'Sa pick.
You know what? This is the year of the dog, and this is the year of miracles for RNG. Uzi, this is his best chance for a title. IG is out of the way. We're not sure if Clear Love is going to play. That is not confirmed. A sad moment for Rookie here. He was the MVP of 2018, had the best split of his career, thought he was this close to finally calling himself a veteran, finally getting that championship from the LPL.
Heartbreaking to watch, because not many people expected this. Not many people expected IG not only to fall to RNG in these finals, but in the decisive fashion that we saw in the last match. One-sided affair. Rookie must be feeling devastated at the moment.
Probably has a lot of guilt towards himself. This was not a very good game for him. He does put a lot of pressure on his own shoulders. Says that he practices all the time. Takes his mind and his complete focus onto it when things aren't going well. He has to go back to the drawing board.
Sai even coming over. And the crowd chanting, Rookie, your Spring Split MVP, falling here at the semifinals. He'll get another chance to play in the 3rd and 4th place match against the loser of tomorrow's final semifinal game. But even Zatai knows what that must feel like. It's a devastating moment. And as much as it's a great victory for RNG, they're able to topple the Giants, the domestic split kings of Invictus Gaming, only losing one match.
One moment you're looking at history, the other moment you're looking at spring vacation. They are still going to show up at Rift Rivals though. We still have a chance to see Invictus Gaming on an international stage. But for now, it's RNG all the way.
And they're going to be heading into the grand final. So waiting the winner between EDG and Rogue Warriors, semi-final match to be played tomorrow. Crushing defeat for Invictus Gaming, but RNG decisive in game 2, comeback in game 1, fighting back in games 3 and 4, and a decisive finish in game number 5, able to pick up the victory to break down that entire series and close out the day. Let's send it back to the analyst desk.
His name might be Rookie, but he is absolutely a veteran to his team, a veteran to all of us. Tears being shed at the end of the 5-game series as 11 weeks, 12 weeks worth of work all go up in one final match against Royal Never Give Up.
And to understand the true importance of Zatai of all people, walking over to Rookie, Rookie was the guy who replaced Zatai. Zatai was the old school Invictus Gaming mid laner. I think double lift effectively for CLG. Zatai eventually left IG for Snake, but it was Rookie who initially replaced Zatai, moving him up into the top lane. Yeah. So to see former teammates kind of comfort each other like that, big, impactful moment.
Yeah, former teammates, because they went to Worlds together. That's the biggest point about it. So that brothership, the fact that they were together on stage for that one is a beautiful moment.
It certainly is. Of course, that being said, we do have to celebrate the Mad Dog, the uncrowned king, once again in the grand finals of the LPL Spring Split here. And we've been saying it all split. This is the best he's ever looked in his entire career. Yes. And now he's one best of 5 away. Guys, could this be it?
And the important thing is the fact that it's Uzi that's doing it. Yeah. It's not just Uzi being carried through playoffs again. Again, everyone remembers his international performances. This is not Uzi domestically. Normally, he does not play this well. He is having the split of his career. He is the best AD carry in the LPL. He is the best AD carry in the world right now.
And on top of that, the strategy involved in Game 5 was really, really, really strong going up against the composition. Cassiopeia having to deal with the banner of command. Of course, once you Singe in the top lane, a lot of people.
The superior region in ALCS
was-
teaching us a thing or two.
Yeah, you know what?
God
Impact.
bless, thank
God
you.
bless you, Impact. God bless you. Like, that's the thing, though, is that you just have, and for everybody wondering why this is coming up all of a sudden, double Corrupting Potion, a lot of it comes with Time Work Tonic coming into the play, allowing you to be a lot more healthy within the lane. So, of course, now you're seeing Corrupting Potions, you're seeing the Dark Seals stacks coming through. So it allows for this to happen so you can play up against tanks. And Banner of Command is already broken, so why not just build it on those champions? Why not? So it's fun to see that coming through, and they were getting demolished in the early game.
I think the thing that we have to highlight the most for RNG is that this is a complete departure from any of the other games that they've played throughout the course of this series stylistically. That they went for the double tank, put Uzi in the carry for the bottom lane. Eventually he'll do something, but we just need to get through this early and mid game and come out against a Cassiopeia Xayah without being at a deficit. Because we were saying backstage, if they don't win within 10 or 15 minutes, if they don't get an advantage, then IG are so heavily favored.
But that's why Sejuani was actually the key pick for this composition to work. I agree. The Scion and the Singe, the double banner of command, having access to that was kind of the core of the composition. But to snowball it, you had to have Sejuani, because at level 6, she actually has great burst damage with her ultimate and her control over the Scuttle Vision. And that's really what it was. It was having control over the neutral river and then constantly blitzing into the mid lane to create that gold lead. And if you didn't have a champion like Sejuani, who basically cannot be contested, hyperscales very well, then you have triple tank and allows damage for those tanks to take off, this doesn't get off the ground because you just get outscaled.
It would just be a lot more difficult. I thought that 11 minutes into the game, the vision that they had defensively in their own red buff, I mean, I'm talking specifically RNG, straight through blue buff side of Invictus Gaming, it was so strong that it was actually impossible to read where Braum was coming from, that he can immediately go straight towards the mid lane. So it felt like, yeah, you know what, Rookie was having a very bad game. That must have been why he was feeling really down on himself, because he was getting bullied by multiple just people running up in his lane. And so it was difficult, because even when Ning tried to have impact in there, when Ning was trying to see if he can get a good counter gank involved, he was right on top of Ward, and he didn't even realize. So he added to that misfortune. Yeah,
and we have to speak out to the coach and the staff of RNG to choose this strategy in Game 5. All right, Uzi, play something you're comfortable with, something that scales. We're going to camp the best player in the league, and we're going to tilt him off the face of the earth. And goodness help them, they succeeded.
Well, scales, maybe. I think that, yeah, exactly. But my biggest thing is that, like, they've been getting railed in the early game all series long, and they decided through cheese, like through the magic of cheese and through the magic of just silent mid lane, like the beauty of it, just to be able to just hard push your advantage. You're right about the 15-minute mark. If they don't have a massive advantage, or at least I would say 20 minutes, where Zai doesn't have 3 items going Infinity Edge, and of course Rylai's Crystal Scepter isn't being built off of the Cassiopeia, then you don't have the damage. Invictus Game didn't have the damage when they finally did build it, which they didn't. Once they've got the items for themselves, they can look to fight, but that crucial team fight happened around Baron, that wasn't going to let it happen.
And again, this is Rookie on that Cassiopeia that he's played in the past. This was the Cassiopeia he took into Game 5 against WE and ended up losing that series, which denied him his world spot this past year. Now he's denied the finals on the same champion, so perhaps a little bit more bitterness to that. But to get into that team fight just a little bit more, it was, in fact, that we did have a close matchup, that there were still fights coming out of Invictus Gaming to try to get themselves back into this.
Because IG are a fairly cautious team, and they still have great read on the mid game. Like, you could tell that Baolan, he understood when they were setting up for those Baron traps and trying to snowball the game, because RNG recognized that they were on a timer before they started playing the 0-3-2, and then using the 2 banner of commands in the bottom lane. So IG recognized what situation they were in. They just made like 2 crucial team fight mistakes, and that was all it cost.
And one big step up, and of course we've been having a looking glass into, is JackeyLove's positioning. JackeyLove and how he takes these major pressure situations. Him walking up,
Baby's first semifinals,
getting slapped up by Uzi. That was a major focus for me, because it was in the
that
mid lane.
It cost them huge.
Was a major point in which they really fell behind, because Invictus Gaming could have had an opportunity. Even if it was an even fight, they back away, they get items for themselves, they reset around Baron, they just need to stall for time. And it really didn't happen just because of the missteps coming from JackeyLove.
And the thing is I still like to see the aggression and the bloodlust from JackeyLove. Everyone's going to look at him this series, and he's going to get a lot of the fingers pointed at him for how aggressive, how far forward, how many times he did get caught out, like in this instance. But you can train that. You know, you can't train the bloodlust. They call him the inexperienced Uzi. Like Clement said on the cast, just give him time. He will be a great ADC. He got his first taste under a big spotlight in a high-pressure situation. It backfired. He played from the back foot, but there's still plenty left in this guy.
Absolutely. And again, this is Invictus Gaming coming in with the Shy, coming in with JackeyLove, these two new players, going as the second most dominant team in all of the LPL
it's a huge
history.
upset.
It absolutely is. And then just dropping in that semifinals. There's still plenty of room for these players to grow moving into summer, moving into the future. Of course, that being said, though, we do have to congratulate Royal Never Give Up.
Yes.
Because they're already doing the growth.
There
we go. That's it, right? Just look at each other. Xiaohu will take our MVP. He's actually been doing a lot of growing himself. We saw a massive performance from him at Worlds in 2017. Well, now he's starting to step up once again with that late season playoff buff.
Yeah, and of course the Sion pick comes true time and time again, where he finds himself in a best of 5, or at least in a later best of 3, picking up the Sion and just having at it. So if you go into the finals up against RNG, you have to really respect the flex picks that they're throwing at you. Karma's one big one. Sion is another. And if you're talking about Swain as well, these are a lot of picks that you can't just outright ban, but you have to be able to, what Invictus Gaming did, take red side and be able to counterpick properly into it.
It's also the fact that RNG are just playing very unique strategies that we haven't seen in the LPL until kind of right up to the finals. It looks very clear to me that there's a lot of heavy scrimming going on with the LCK teams. I know that there was an interview post-LCK finals where Gorilla was talking specifically about how they're really worried about RNG, how they gave them a lot of respect, and just kind of watching how this series has turned out, some of the priorities on the picks, the shifts from regular season meta to playoff meta. To me, it just reads that these two regions are scrimming, and you're starting to see it leak over.
Yeah. We certainly are. Now let's take a look at our bracket and where it's going to shake out for now. With RNG's win, they will advance to the grand finals, April 28th, happening in Chengdu. Of course, that does mean we have to find out who their opponent is going to be. That's happening tomorrow. Edward Gaming will play Rogue Warriors out of Hangzhou. And of course, the loser for that will advance to the third, fourth place match, April 24th in Chongqing.
And a reminder that they're still playing for championship points. So while we have all of our Rift Rivals representatives, because we send 4 teams, not 3 to Rift Rivals against LCK and LMS, it's the championship points. And so if IG want to make a deep run at Worlds, if they want to qualify, they do need to win that match, because the difference between 3rd and 4th is massive.
Yeah. That's having healthy goal setting. You don't just look at the current objective, but also the one off in the distance, the one that you've got to continue to chase.
Well, if this was bittersweet, missing Worlds would be even worse.
Yeah, no one wants to find themselves going straight down into the summer split and then having to qualify through the gauntlet of the qualifier. So that would be really unfortunate, so IG has to keep rolling.
They certainly do. Tomorrow, though, we've got Rogue Warriors taking on Edward Gaming. That's going to be happening once again out of Hangzhou, 5 p.m. China Standard, 1 a.m. Pacific. ClearLove taking on Flawless. Ladies and gentlemen, your eyes don't deceive you. He's back, baby.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And guess who's going up against his former team? It's Mouse on Rogue Warriors.
The revenge tour, baby.
There's so many storylines that you really have to follow when it comes down to it.
And you have to think that RNG must be sweating now. Like Uzi's like, I just took down the most dominant team in the LPL. There's no way I don't win my. Oh God, EDG are still in the bracket.
ClearLove is back. What do you mean ClearLove is back?
Just to screw him over one last time.
Hello, ClearLove. Please check your bank account. All right. Anyways, that's going to be it for us, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in. This has been an exceptional series to cast. I'm so glad we could all be a part of it. So, on behalf of myself, my co-analysts, our excellent casters, and the whole production crew, thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow for our last semifinals match.